Hi everyone, I'm Celeste. Welcome to my BookTube channel. And this week I'm posting two book reviews. I'm posting them a little bit late. Things didn't work out for me posting them on Tuesday, but I do have two individual reviews to share with you this week. And this one will be on the book Bone China by Laura Purcell. And then later this week I'm also going to be sharing a review of the latest Nancy Drew book that I've read for my Girl Sleuths series. So I am videotaping them as separate posts because they do go into different playlist categories on my channel. But let's start out by talking about Laura Purcell's Bone China. Bone China is a Gothic novel, and it has two storylines. The first is about a woman called Hester Y. Hester Y, great name, is a lady's maid and sometimes nurse who arrives at a place called Morveran House, which is a brooding old sort of Gothic house on a cliff on the coast of Cornwall. And this is taking place in the Regency period, so the early 1800s, so around the time of Jane Austen and so on. Hester Y has come to take a position as nurse to the partially paralyzed and almost completely mute Miss Pinecroft. Hester has fled to Cornwall to escape a mysterious past, which we slowly learn about during the course of the novel. When she arrives at Morveran House, she's surrounded by very odd household staff. Strange things are going on. It's very obvious that something strange is happening. And there are very odd kind of traces of rituals happening. There's a lot of tensions lurking just below the surface of their day-to-day lives. And Hester slowly learns the truth about what's going on there. Now, the room where Miss Pinecroft sits is always freezing, and she's always staring sort of over your shoulder as if she's seeing ghosts or spirits, and she's terrified. It's obvious that even though she's not saying much, she's terrified. Okay, so the second storyline takes place 40 years prior to that, when Miss Pinecroft is a young woman, and her name is Louise Pinecroft. Consumption has ravaged the community and ravaged Louise Pinecroft's family, and the only two members of the family who are left are Louise and her father, Dr. Pinecroft. Now, Dr. Pinecroft is carrying around the emotional burden of not having been able to save anyone in his family except for Louise. And so now he has decided to find a cure for consumption, and he's conducting medical experiments. And so he's driven to find a cure for consumption. He decides to conduct a fresh air experiment where he houses convicts suffering from consumption, prisoners from the local jail, housing them in a sort of labyrinth of cliff dwellings underneath the cliffs of Morveran House. And meanwhile, there's strange stories circulating, thanks to the maids in the house, of fairies living underground who search for souls that they can steal away to their underground realm. So it's kind of a blending of folk horror and the realities of consumption in Regency era Britain. I really liked this novel. I found Laura Purcell's writing style really, really engaging. She's very good at creating a spooky, evocative Gothic atmosphere, and you will feel absolutely chilled whenever you enter the room with Hester to visit Ms. Pinecroft. She deftly blends folklore and horror with good historical storytelling. And it's very convincing that you are back in the Regency period. Her turns of phrase, the things that she describes that are decorative elements in the rooms of the mansion, the expressions that she uses, the technology of the time, all of that is very convincing and accurate sounding. I don't know for sure if it all is. Maybe there's something anachronistic, but for me it was pretty convincing. I would give this book 4 stars. I do think it lost a star for the ending for me. And I give low spoiler reviews, so I will not tell you what happens in the end. I just felt like it wasn't quite the ending I was hoping for. And I thought the writing was very atmospheric and sophisticated and well done all the way through, but it's almost as if I felt like Laura Purcell got tired in the last few pages, and she was chugging along to get this done, and she was almost done and she just wanted to finish it. And so I think she should have taken a break and put it in a drawer and come back to it and reconsidered her last 3 or 4 pages, because to me it's kind of trying to rise to a fever pitch for the climax of the book, but for me it got a little melodramatic, and the writing suffered a little bit because it seems like she was trying to wrap things up quickly. And when I got to the ending, I was kind of like, oh. I was sort of hoping it would be a slightly more sophisticated and complex ending instead of the more simplistic ending that she chose. I do love the fact that it was set in the Regency period. It's really refreshing to have a drama that is set during that time. We always have so much fun with Jane Austen and with Regency romances, things that are set in the Regency, like, Bridgerton and Georgette Hare and all of that. But I really appreciate having something other than Frankenstein to read that is set during that time. And I just thought it was really, really evocative and wonderful. I would definitely read another Laura Purcell book. I did try listening to her horror podcast, which is called Roanoke Falls, but I stopped after the first episode because it seemed quite melodramatic to me as well, and kind of gratuitously violent without having a really strong, compelling storyline. But I will definitely try another Laura Purcell book, and I know she has lots of choices for novels available, so I will hopefully get to another one of those later this year. But I do recommend Bone China. I thought it was highly enjoyable. If you like horror reads, if you like gothic reads, if you're a fan of Daphne du Maurier, if you're a fan of things like Rebecca and Jamaica Inn and all of that, I think you will definitely appreciate this. Just do be forewarned, the ending is maybe not the best, but you may feel differently. Let me know if you do. That's all for today. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.